Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Canelo Alverez, Jermell Charlo. Get this. This is as I promised, the fight prediction and fight breakdown of Saul Canelo Alverez and Jermell Charlo. Okay, now let's look at the tale of the tape. We have Saul Canelo Alverez coming in at 59 wins compared to the 35 wins for Jermell Charlo. 2 losses for Canelo Alverez and only 1 loss to Tony Harrison to Jermell Charlo. 39 big KOs from Saul Canelo Alverez and 18 sensational KOs from Jermell Charlo. 63 total bouts for Canelo, 37 for Charlo. 62% KO percentage. 49% KO percentage for Jermell Charlo. 5'9" height for Saul Canelo Alverez versus 5'11", okay, for Jermell Charlo. 71-inch reach for Canelo Alverez and 2 more inches, which is 73 inches for Jermell Charlo. Orthodox to orthodox. Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, and Houston, Texas, but we all know that is Louisiana, okay? July 18th, 1990, date of birth for Canelo Alverez and versus May 19th, 1990 for Jermell Charlo, okay? So Jermell Charlo is actually older than Canelo. Him and Errol Spence actually are older than Canelo despite the amount of fights that Canelo has. And let me do the fight breakdown now with Canelo versus Jermell. I think Canelo needs to take it right to Jermell because I think Jermell is going to look to box, make Canelo miss and make him pay. I think the more footwork he uses, the more problems he gives Canelo. Okay, the only difference is, or the only question is, how much footwork and how good of footwork can Jermell Charlo possess? Because Jermell Charlo is like a chopping fighter. Okay, he's more like a Ben Tacky fighter. He likes to chop with those shots. He likes to get inside. He likes to work the body. He likes to throw those bows. Okay, but he likes to do it in sync. He likes to throw those bows to fighters that give him the opportunity. The question is, will Canelo Alvarez do that? Okay, because guys like Brian Castano is a guy that's like, okay, let me throw you 4 or 5 punches, but then he can punch in between those 4 or 5 punches because Brian gave him something to work with. Well, in this situation, you got someone like Canelo Alvarez that is constantly looking to play off your action. That's going to be difficult for Jermell. Okay, so I see right now off the bat that Jermell Charlo is going to have to work the jab and he's going to have to take some type of initiative because he's not going to feel comfortable with Canelo Alvarez coming inside because once Canelo Alvarez comes inside, he's going to throw punches to the body. Now, the question is, will he or will he not use his classical head movement? And we haven't really seen that in the last fight. So I guess people assume that he stops doing it or stopped doing it because of lack of motivation or whatever. I think he will do it. I think he will come in defensively sound, okay, defensively responsible. And I think, due to seeing what he was doing with the head moving and moving side to side. And, I think he was looking for that. But I think Canelo Alvarez will be doing so, and I think Jermell Charlo will be looking to capitalize on the length and the 2 inches that he has, okay? So I think he's going to have to throw that jab. He's going to have to keep Canelo honest, and him being the smaller guy moving up, okay? I think he's going to have to do something, or he has to feel that he has to do something to make Canelo respect him. I like the body work from Jermell Charlo, believe it or not. The guy that's known for whatever it is may be taken out by what he's known for, okay? So, you live by the sword, you die by one. Saying all that to say this, the body punching from Jermell Charlo, could disrupt a lot about Canelo Alvarez. However, be careful, he is the shorter fighter. So going down to his body, especially when you're trying to hook and chop like Jermell Charlo likes to do, is kind of dangerous, okay? You have to approach with caution when doing that with Canelo, because Canelo's waiting for those type of opportunities with catch and shoots. You know, you go to his body, bow, bow, he's going to come up with a right uppercut, followed with a left hook upstairs. Then he might go back to the body if he's scored and landed big with that particular sequence of combinations. So like he did with Beefy Smith. Beefy Smith was a guy that liked to work in there, but he gave Canelo what he wanted him to have, and he got it and he took it and he scored with it, you know. And Jermell's a tough fighter. The only thing that bothered me about Jermell, because both Jermell and Jermell are known for their chin. But recently what we've known about chins, that's not the best thing to really depend on, right? We've seen Big Joe Joyce fall. So if Joe Joyce can fall, people, Canelo Alverez can fall too, but that also goes for Jermell Charlo. So, you know, I think don't wear your chin on your sleeve. And I don't think these guys will be looking to do that anyway, since this is a high stakes fight. This is an undisputed bout at 168. And I see Jermell looking to box, but he's also looking to throw combinations. So basically, we've seen Canelo Alvarez get beat by boxers before. A lot of people argue that Austin Trout did it. I think definitely Erislandy Lara beat Canelo just by boxing him. But I think Jermell will put a little bit more stank behind it. I think he will initiate. He will box, he will move, but he will give Canelo Alvarez and give the crowd and give the referees something, or the judges rather, something to really take note of. Okay, so you got to do that and then cross the T and dot the I. You can't just cross the T by boxing. He's going to have to put together combinations. You know, somebody like De La Hoya would outbox somebody like Canelo simply because of the footwork. Now the question is, can Jermell Charlo do that all night? And I say no. Why? Because I think the power of Canelo, when he hits Jermell, Jermell's going to feel that he needs to make Canelo respect him, like I mentioned before, and what's going to happen, a firefight, and the firefights won't be won by Canelo Alvarez. If they are, I would be very surprised. Okay, because I think Canelo is now known for throwing 1 or 2 punches at a time, but those 1 or 2 punches are very massive. Okay, so and in their time, okay, these are counter punches that he's throwing. These are just not sporadic punches that he's wasting all of his energy. No, they're going to be thrown for a reason and at the right time. That's going to be the defining factor for Canelo Alvarez, catching Jermell Charlo trying to come in, you know, or trying to answer something that landed from Canelo that he didn't like. You know, will it go the distance? It could go the distance. I want a knockout. I don't want a distance fight because, you know, for everything and the narratives that's going around and the possibilities of speculation that, you know, maybe Canelo is just, you know, pretty much going to end his career with PBC. Therefore, if he's the cash cow at PBC and he's the cash cow in boxing, why would you want the money to stop? Why would you want that money to stop? You wouldn't. So everybody that Canelo fights pretty much will, you know, if you don't knock him out, you're not going to get the nod because he's the cash cow. And like Teddy Atlas said, if you want to know who's going to win in boxing, follow the money. But anyway, I think Canelo Alvarez stops Jermell Charlo in maybe the 10th round. I think, you know, since Charlo's tough, since he's durable, and I think the counter punches on the inside will get the best of him, just like they did with Brian Castano. That's why I did not like him wobble the way he did, because I'm thinking, well, at 154, he gets wobbled by Brian Castano. You know, I know Canelo Alvarez can inflict pain on him as well, or do farther worse job. Okay, so I think maybe a TKO stoppage. I think they're both tough, him and his brother Jermell, but I think that'll be enough rounds for Canelo to do enough damage to do something. Okay, but is a decision out of the question? No. Because Danny Jacobs, you know, he went 12 rounds with Danny Jacobs. He went 24 rounds, 36 rounds with Gennady Golovkin. And these guys are pretty solid fighters. So, you know, Canelo Alvarez, he's a good puncher, but he's not a great puncher. So, the only thing is, will 168 be too much for Jermell Charlo to take those punches from somebody heavier that he has never been in the ring with before? I think these are all factors that's going to play in. He's just too big. He may punch too hard for the weight class, and I don't think Jermell Charlo has acclimated to that. Maybe in a couple fights, but he doesn't have a couple fights. When the Canelo Alverez fights come to your knocking at your door, you take it and you answer it. And I think and then that's exactly what he's done. However, I think Canelo Alvarez does the job in rounds 10 or 11. You guys tell me what you think about this breakdown. Keys to victory. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.
Peace.